on our way back to Kalgoorlie. We left here a week or so ago to get away from the heat, and now it's raining. So now all the outback roads I wanted to do, all the gravel roads are going to be closed. We just passed the Hyden Norseman Road, it's closed already. What we really want to do is just do something bloody adventurous. We love the Nullarbor and we love the Air Highway. I think it's one of the best road trips in Australia, but we've done it a couple of times. We thought we'll try and do something different. We've got this new hybrid, let's go test it out, do some fun stuff. And if it's not the heat, it's the rain. I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know where we go from here. I'm just going to keep driving this direction and see if something else happens.
Burn fuel.
Burn some more fuel, see if something else happens.
Go nowhere.
Well, eventually the sun did break through, and while we're in Kalgoorlie, we took the opportunity to go and visit the legendary Super Pit. Kalgoorlie Super Pit is the largest in the world, and it is situated in one of the richest gold reserves. Each year, 12 million tonnes of ore are processed and generate up to 500,000 ounces of gold, with 1,000 tonnes of explosive in 10,000 different production holes exploded each month with 2 blasts a day. If you're lucky enough, you can catch one like we did. If you look closely at the walls of the Super Pit, you can see how the old mining was undertaken, with the old mine shafts still visible when gold was extracted underground. Each of these haul trucks has a payload of 245 tonnes and takes an hour to complete the return journey to the bottom of the pit, and they burn almost 200 litres of fuel in the process.
Well, it's 3:45 in the afternoon and we've finally made our way out of Kalgoorlie. So we picked up our packages, we've restocked, and we've made a new plan. We're going to head east, back towards the east coast, but we're not going to do all of the Nullarbor. We're going to do as much off-road as we can. So starting with, we're going to head due east pretty much out of Kalgoorlie towards Rawlinna station. So what we're really concerned about is the road condition. We have had a bit of rain up here lately, but we don't know how much made it this far out, and we weren't able to hear back from any of the stations just yet as to what the roads are like. So we're just going to wing it and see how we go.
We're literally just about to turn off just up here, and then I reckon we're going to be on the dirt either straight away or not too long after, and we've got about 350 k's of dirt road to Rawlinna, and then we're going to try and cut from there down to Kalgoorlie on the Air Highway, and I have no idea what that's going to be like. That's not a dirt road, that's like station tracks and and off-road full driving, so we'll see how we go. Here we go, Liz, we're going to turn off here.
Oh, you got a road train here. Ooh, can you smell that?
Smells like adventure.
It smells like cows.
Yeah, that too. I'm really hoping we can pull this off. If we can put it all together, because we got some other stuff planned after we hit the highway at Kalgoorlie, assuming we make it that far. Because at some point along here, we might have to stop and air down too. This road's a bit corrugated. Bet where this person turned around and gave up on life. Look, we're going to reach a point somewhere along here where we're going to reach the point of no return with fuel range, where we're going to have to make the call whether to turn back or try and continue through. So, fun and games to come. Let's get this air out of the tyres and try and smoothen out the ride a little bit. Got to be one of the dustiest roads we've ever driven on. There is just an absolute, like an atomic cloud of dust behind the van at the moment. Good dust test.
Alright, welcome to camp. This is just off the side of the road. It's unmarked. We just saw it. We're pulling in.
What a delightful campground. This is what we've found. I think it's a quarry, like for roadworks and stuff. A gravel pit essentially. But it was getting late and there wasn't a lot of options. I don't know, something about just when it's just quiet. All you can hear is the 3,000 flies and the kids. It's bloody magic. You got a bit of wine there, Dom.
Do you see my goblet?
Yeah. Have we got jalapenos on this? Ooh, yeah. Well, quite a good camp last night. It was good, nice and quiet. We do get a lot of questions about free camping like this, just in the middle of nowhere. It's not an official camp by any means, literally just a roadside. Just for safety and security, I think it's a pretty natural thing for it to be a bit unnerving to be out in the middle of nowhere all by yourself. Look, I don't think there's really any risk with it, and we make sure we lock everything up. So we lock all the windows at night time. We lock the door, obviously, and all our external hatches, lock the car up. So we take precautions. We don't leave anything out and about. We don't leave any gear outside. We lock everything up. We just make sure we're a good distance out of town, and get off the side of the road. Get away as far away from the road as you can, or like we have here, tucked away where you can't be seen. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
So fine.
It would make a great thumbnail, or get some clicking content happening if we could, tell you that it was a horrible night and we were feared for our lives and everything like that. But we just don't want to add fuel to the fire that's already too big, in my opinion. So, Anyway, we don't want to go too much into that. We try to be very positive people.
We feel safe, and yes, you still occasionally get the heebie-jeebies, but that doesn't mean you're not safe.
Exactly. And look, one of the biggest reasons we do what we do and share our travels on video and put it on YouTube like we do is to inspire you guys to get out and do more of it and go places you may not have otherwise. The last thing we want to be doing is creating a storm in a teacup and telling people that things aren't safe and that. We want you guys to get the real story, I guess, of how it is out here traveling around. It's extremely safe. We're very lucky. Anyway, enough yabbering about that. We're going to get on the road. Rawlinna is the target today. That's where we're going to try and get to and make a plan from there, because that is our point of no return. None of the stations got back to me that I tried to contact to get information, but some local intel we've got is that the roads should be fine and we should make it through, but that's not up to date, and there's been rain, there's been a lot of things. So look, it's still a bit up in the air. We'll see how we go, but for now it's target, get to Rawlinna. Let's do it. First things first though, we've got to retrieve our children. They're over there somewhere. They're up behind this dirt mound playing. Back on the road. The bumpy old road. I thought this might be a good opportunity to just quickly touch on a bit of a few things we've learned over the last few years. We've been traveling now for full time for 3.5 years and done in that time thousands of kilometers of dirt and gravel roads, towing various caravans, and look, there's a few things over that time, that have just become my standard operating procedure, if you like, for dirt road travel. So number one, as you saw yesterday, is we head down as soon as we hit the dirt. I'm getting better at this. I used to be terrible at it, I'll just go for a little drive down and see how bad it is. But particularly on a run like this, where I know it's going to be hundreds of kilometers, just air down early. And when you air down, the other thing I've learned is just air down properly the first time. Don't just let a little bit out and then go for a bit of a drive and then think about maybe letting a little bit more out. I just straight away, as soon as we hit the gravel towing, I halve my pressures that I run on the blacktop across the board. So that's car and caravan. And I just find that it just saves having to think about it. The only thing you've really got to be aware of, if you've got low pressures, you got to lower your speed. But to be honest, on a lot of these roads, you want to lower your speed anyway. On this road in particular, we're averaging sitting on between 60 and 80 kilometers an hour. It's pretty varied, and that's the thing, most gravel roads are pretty varied in the condition. You'll have good sections, you'll have bad sections, you'll have really bad sections. Occasionally you get lucky and you get really good sections as well, but in general it's going to be very varied. But once my tyre pressures are down, I generally stick to 80 k's an hour or less, just because you'll build up heat in the tyre with lower pressures and you can overheat and overcook your tyres. Something I've never had and it's always been on my list to get sorted is a tyre pressure monitoring system, particularly one with temperature monitoring, and I'd love to get that for the caravan especially, but one that goes across the car and caravan. So if any of you out there have got any recommendations of ones you've actually tried, yeah, if you've actually used one and rate it, let me know in the comments. What are you using? What you like about it? And I'd love to read those comments and get some ideas, because like I said, it's always been on my list. If we get a slow leak, getting on top of that early before we destroy a tyre is, I think, the biggest pro to a tyre pressure monitoring system. The big thing to be aware of is just you got to keep your wits about you and keep an eye on the road conditions, because like I said, they can vary very quickly. Bull dust holes, washouts, wandering stock like we had yesterday. There's a whole lot more, obstacles or things you need to be aware of once you're on a gravel road compared to driving on the blacktop. Now, I'm always wary as well of asking others or giving others information on road conditions on gravel roads, about how good it is, how bad it was, because what you'll find is everybody's interpretation or everybody's perspective on road conditions varies more than road conditions themselves. Someone that's done a lot of dirt road driving, like us, I guess, has a better understanding of the variations and how extreme things can be at both ends as far as road conditions go. And what I think is a reasonably good road, if it's your first or second time towing in particular a caravan on a dirt road, you might be thinking, what is he on about? This is horrible. The other thing is, the road conditions can vary from day to day, week to week, month to month. So unless you've got very up-to-date information, it's probably irrelevant anyway. We still get people messaging us saying, oh, I saw your video on the Plenty Highway. What's the road like? I did the Plenty Highway 2.5 years ago. What the road was like when I did it is completely irrelevant to what it is for you, bar a couple of sort of indications of what the road surface is generally like. We tend to drive about half an hour, roughly 20 minutes, half an hour once we first hit the dirt, and then pull over, do a quick check inside, outside, just make sure you're happy with how everything's going, and go from there. Now, if you've got airbag suspension like we've had in all our vans, you do not lower your airbags. It's interesting how many people ask this question, and I can sort of get where they're coming from. Do you lower your airbag pressure to get a softer ride on the dirt? Absolutely not. Air pressure in your bags determines your ride height, and that is it. If you lower your airbag pressure, you are just reducing the amount of suspension travel that suspension in your caravan has, and if you go too low, you risk doing significant damage to your suspension and your caravan, because it will just bottom out. The suspension will run out of travel and it'll bottom out, and then that's when things get pretty serious. So just maintain whatever airbag pressures you've been running on the blacktop. That's exactly what you're going to run for the dirt.
Yeah, copy in the caravan?
Good, yeah. Hang on a sec, we just got someone behind us, I think. Yeah, mate, copy that.
Just round, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, good spot here, mate. Nice and smooth here.
That's thanks.
Cheers, mate. You have a good one.
Yeah, you too, mate. Drop the
That's another good tip for dirt road driving that I didn't add before, is one of these, a UHF, is invaluable, priceless. As you can see here, if Liz spins the camera around, if we were him and coming up behind someone else like he just was on us, he's got no chance of seeing whether it's clear to get around us. And the other thing is that on these dirt and gravel roads, trucks and caravans like us, and even cars to a point, will sort of use all of the road to find the smoothest part of the road or dodge obstacles and things like that. So it can be quite dangerous if you don't know that the driver that you're overtaking knows that you're there and that you're overtaking. It can be quite dangerous. So outback touring in general, but particularly on the dirt, UHF is invaluable. Just keep it on channel 40 and people will call you up just like that guy did there. He just said, do you copy in the caravan? Obviously there's not many people around I'm pretty sure he's talking to us. I don't think there's too many caravans out here. But if you're coming up on a truck or something, it can help to say what road you're on, what direction you're traveling. So we would say, you know, on the Trans Road, heading eastbound, truck, we're in the caravan behind you, do your copy. And then once you got them a copy, they'll generally give you an idea of when it's good to go around them. Or like that, if you've got someone behind you, you can guide them past you. Now, apart from all that, the main thing is just take your time, enjoy the drive. You're not in a rush. The reason you come out to these places is to get to see the landscape, see what's around you. If you're just barreling through it at 100 k's an hour, you're going to miss a lot and you're just not going to enjoy it, and your chance of breaking stuff is a lot higher. So overall, my biggest advice is just air down, slow down, enjoy the ride, and just deal with it as it comes. And don't be afraid to pull over and check on things. Just enjoy it, because it is some of the best touring I reckon you can do. There's something awesome about the freedom that you get from taking a luxury home, which is effectively what our caravans are, along into some of the most remote places in the country, in the dirt, the dust, the flies and everything else, but you've got this little bit of paradise when you go inside. It's awesome. It's a really good feeling, and I recommend everyone give it a go. I'd love to see more people get out and experience dirt road touring and gravel roads, because there's some fantastic stuff to see in this country once you get away from the blacktop. And if you're anything like us, you actually look at the map and like, yeah, we could take the highway, but are there any fun ways we could go? Is there any dirt we could take instead? And hit the dirt. It's always more enjoyable. We absolutely love it.
We found a little side track here that goes up to the railway line, and we said, oh, it'd be pretty cool if while we were having lunch a train flew through, and it's exactly what just happened. Only a freight train, not the Indian Pacific. Still haven't seen the Indian Pacific, but I think that's the second or the third freight train we've seen. Something a bit interesting. He even gave us a toot as he went past. Gets me excited. The kids didn't care at all. I'm running out of the van like an excited little kid wanting to see the train, and the kids are sitting inside eating yogurt. So anyway, that tells you a bit, probably more than you need to know. When you're thinking about what it is that drives us to do this sort of crazy stuff and come out here in the middle of nowhere, it's a lot of it's just curiosity, you know, like you're just that desire to explore and see new country and see something new. But what I'm actually really enjoying about traveling so extensively through Australia is I can look at a map now of most parts of Australia and I can visualize what the landscape looks like there. You know, it's like when you look at a map that's very plain, it's 2D, and yeah, you can see where deserts and mountains and coastlines and all that sort of stuff is, but you don't really get a good picture of what it looks like. Whereas I can now look at most parts around Australia. There's still a few gaps to fill in, but I can visualize exactly what the landscape looks like and what it's like to be there, which I think is really cool. That's something that I'm really enjoying. Anyway, I turned the camera on to tell you about a train. I didn't mean to talk to you for that long. I know some of you love us having a yarn with you, and some of you think, oh, just show us stuff, stop talking. Well, if you know me, if you ever met me in person, don't come over for a chat with one beer, put it that way. You'll need a couple. All right, we're gonna finish up lunch and we're gonna get on the road. We'll see you soon. What do you think you're doing? What's that? You putting weeds in my car?
Yeah, they're so beautiful. Look at them. We had these at our wedding. They're so beautiful. These are our wedding flowers. I need this glass of wine right now.
Just everything was going so well until that last like 50 k's, eh?
And then we were just really agitated and grumpy in the car, and kids were losing it.
Yeah, we had to stop a couple of times today. We stopped for lunch and then we stopped again for a meeting. We had a meeting and we were just going to camp where we did the meeting. But then, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to get to Rawlinna. I wouldn't say I regret that decision, but it wasn't really worth it. There's not much here. She's a pretty much a ghost town.
I was kind of hoping it would be like historically beautiful, considering that the Trans-Pacific stops here.
The Indian Pacific.
The Indian Pacific, sorry.
Yeah, we're on the Trans something railway line.
The Trans Railway.
I don't know, the road's called Trans something. Anyway, we're very good at this, as you can tell.
I've only been staring at that map for the last 2 days straight. I can't tell you
I
what the
think
road's
this
called.
is where some people do research, though, that we don't do. There is a little spot here where we're just going to park up and camp tonight. It was about 5 when we pulled in, so a bit late to be going off looking for another campsite. So this will do for tonight. And yeah, from here things are going to get really interesting because we got about, I think it's about 150 k's to Kalgoorlie back on the air highway on the main route across the Nullarbor if you're doing the traditional route. But it's a goat track. It's all back tracks and everything. So that's going to get very interesting.
It's very hard to get any information about this road to Kalgoorlie. How do we say it? Kalgoorlie?
No, not like that at all. Kalgoorlie.
Kalgoorlie to Kalgoorlie. But when I was reading the reviews for this campground, which I didn't actually tell you because I didn't want to tell you, I was only just reading them before, and someone has written as a review to get to this campground, was a mission from Kalgoorlie, was a mission from Kalgoorlie, so we pulled in here quite late. I'm like, right. When did you leave Kalgoorlie, Stu? I want to know more about it.
So it might be quite a journey. I was suspecting this.
That was the 7th of April 2023 though.
There is every chance that we won't make Kalgoorlie tomorrow, and I'm well prepared for that. I'm actually not. I'd actually probably rather not try and make it in a day. It is, like I say, it's only 150 k's, but we were just saying off camera that we were sort of hoping for some sort of really nice bush camping along this route. I wouldn't come here for the camping. There might be some good campgrounds. We haven't found them. Where we pulled up last night, as you saw, was just a gravel pit. Tonight's camp it'll do. It's certainly not something where I feel like I need to put the drone up and show you this spectacular campground. So
could be
yeah.
the contrast. Just show people, like, this is the view. Like, you're out in the middle of nowhere and I'm looking at a train, a dump truck, a mountain, a random set of stairs.
Yeah, that's not a dump truck, Liz. That's a front end loader. But anyway,
no one knows. No one knows the difference.
The point. I think some people know the difference. The point is made. Anyway, yeah, it's not spectacular by any means. So I wouldn't be disappointed if we did another night somewhere along the track between here and Kalgoorlie if we find somewhere that's a little bit nicer to camp, because we're kind of keen for a bush camp. Anyway, we're going to light the fire. The kids are keen for a fire, so we'll get the fire going tonight. And then, yeah, like I said, we wouldn't mind finding a good camp along the track to Kalgoorlie. We'll see how that goes.
All right, boys.
Rip and rumble.
Is that your school booklets?
Yeah.
Have you finished them?
Yeah.
We've sent the photos in, haven't we?
Yeah.
Now they're firewood. Fire starters.
Oh.
I don't know who's more excited to see this booklet work go.
Because the microwave isn't fire.
Stop, gang. Don't do all of that.
Well, this isn't a great start. I think this gate's locked.
Is it locked?
It does say you should ask for permission. I'm just having a bit of trouble getting onto Rawlinna station. I'm just at the dingo fence on the, like, just out of town at Rawlinna. It says that we need to get permission before we go through.
Which is the largest sheep, which...
Don't want cows.
They're so cute.
And then you eat them.
The Shots Drone Pilot, you happy with them?
Hello.
Where can people find them?
On your Instagram, dear.
Making me look good. Hey Simon, this is day 2. We just left the gravel pit and we're making our way into Rawlinna station. These are the gravel roads. By the way, I really love you, and I hope this video exports without any errors for you.
What are the kids doing in there?
I don't know.
we just pulled up with this to check the caravan, and yeah, there's a car parked in the tree. Silly spot, eh, Harrison?
Whoever was driving that car is a total dum-dum.
Not a good spot to park.
Whoever was driving that car is a complete idiot.
It's time